Zine friends, and welcome back to the channel. Because as you may be able to tell, today is not Happy Mail Monday. I mean, it's Monday, and it should be Happy Mail Monday, but a lot has been going on. However, I didn't want to just leave it another week, and I do want to try to do Happy Mail tomorrow, but I'm getting ahead of myself, and I just wanted to have a little ramble. As per usual, this is not at all scripted. Maybe I should try scripting stuff at some point. But anyway, hi. How are you? How was your weekend? It was kind of a weary, dreary one here. But those are good for restful and hello autumn in Australia. And all that good stuff. And now I don't know where to start. Anyway, so I've always been about sharing, being open, talking about what's going on with you because, you know, from time to time, we all need to be able to talk to someone about anything, you know, about all this stuff. And a lot of people are doing it difficultly right now for various reasons, and that includes me too. And I like to think that this is still a channel that makes people smile, and so I don't want to just disappear. But I know that I have been anything but consistent this year despite my best efforts. And I'm sorry if I'm a bit shiny, but it's warm in here, late afternoon sunlight. Anyway, yeah, so there's been a lot going on. As you know, if you've been here a while, I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have a secondary autoimmune condition that I am not ready to talk about. That was officially diagnosed late last year, but I've had for much longer. And just I have PCOS as well. Lots of things going on. I have a body that doesn't like itself, apparently. But anyway, and this isn't to say I have more or less going on than anybody else, but I have a lot going on for me. And that has, so many things have just come to a head lately. And this year. And part of that is because last year, I'd been seeing this certain GP locally for quite a while, and this GP just became frankly abusive. And I don't say that word lightly. Obviously not physically abusive, but with rheumatoid arthritis and my other conditions, I experience a lot of pain on a fairly consistent basis. You know, pain is just life for me. And it got to the point where she just roll her eyes and sigh when I'd be like, okay, we need to work out, or I need to figure out how to, get some pain management happening here because things are not good right now. And she just kind of roll her eyes and ignore me and not suggest anything, not prescribe anything, etc. And she tried to push things on me. Ozempic, Mounjaro, those sort of things. She's like, you should do this. And I'm like, it's not possible financially for me. And she'd say, yeah, but you could maybe borrow money from relatives. And I'm like, I'm no contact with my relatives. What are you talking about? So yeah, it got to this point where she laughed in my face over something that she had wrong. It's on the Australian government health website. She had it wrong. And that was just my last straw. I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and let somebody laugh in my face over something I know is right. So anyway, that delayed a bunch of stuff getting done. So technically this shouldn't all be happening right now. And would have happened over a more gradual timeline rather than all of a sudden at once. If she had tested me for things earlier, if she had listened to me, that sort of thing. I'm not here to complain about that GP. I'm really not. I'm just kind of babbling and explaining the timeline. So I got to see a new GP and we're hitting everything at once. So all at once, I found out I have another diagnosis because, gotta catch them all. Sorry. I have a little bit of dark humor, so if you don't appreciate that, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I have another one, and we're looking into that and doing some additional testing so we know exactly what we're looking at. I went in this morning. Well, not this morning, but anyway, a little bit earlier. And I got another blood test done today. So that's where I was when I'd usually be filming Happy Mail. So we'll get some answers from that. I got some imaging done, and for the pain that I've been experiencing for the past 10 months, I think, that the other GP ignored, I have both tendonitis and bone spurring in my heel, which obviously severely impacts my mobility. So as you can imagine, my mental health hasn't been that great either. And I realized that I was kind of not practicing what I preach, insofar as me being someone who always says, you can talk about it, like you're not alone. You don't need, obviously you don't have to talk if you don't want to, but I don't want anybody to feel like they can't talk. Sorry, I'm very fidgety and I'm doing things on my desk. I need a fidget, but I don't have one. Anyway, got my letter opener. I'll fidget with that. Anyway, and so, yeah, it's been a number of things. It's been the overwhelm. It has been fatigue. So much fatigue. Oh my goodness. And that fatigue impacting everything, because it was kind of like, I couldn't be like, here's my to-do list. Let's see how much of it I can get done. It's, here's my to-do list. During a day, I can usually get one thing done. And it's been this whole journey of realizing that, I have these conditions and I've always just put them on a list, like they're a to-do list. Okay, I have to do the rheumatoid arthritis medications, and I have to do this for PCOS, and I have to do this. And it's I always took them on as tasks rather than conditions. These are conditions that I have, and I'm gonna have to accept that they are part of my life. They are not just tasks for a task list. And yeah, I've been in denial for years. I hate to say it, and it sounds kind of dramatic, but I've been in denial for years. And so I've had all this mental stuff happening with all of this other stuff going on, and it feels like it just never stops, That's been this year. It feels like it just hasn't been stopping, and it's not going to. I have an appointment next week, and I have an appointment in 2 weeks, and then I have to do all my eye stuff, because when you're on methotrexate, you have to get regular eye checkups, because they can cause that medication can cause buildup in your eye and all. Then I have pre-op, and then I have a day surgery in June. And it just feels like it never ends. But the thing is, what I'm trying to get at is that I've been dealing with all this stuff, and it's not and I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're oversharing anyway, oversharing to the internet. But my point in my oversharing to the internet is so other people feel like they can share it all. That is my goal. I'm not sitting here looking for anything in particular other than wow, she's talking about her stuff. I could talk about my stuff. Because there it is. Yeah, I can just, it gets to be a lot. And I was sitting there at a particularly bad time, or bad fatigue day. Like, they don't have it very often, but there are some days where I'm asleep more than I am awake, and I can't help that because it's what my body needs. And the depression got really bad. And anxiety is about like, oh, what's going to be next? Because you experience so many things in a row, and then you start getting anxious, like, this is never going to end, so what's going to be next? You know, that kind of future anxiety. And it's been a lot. And I was sitting there, and I've been dealing with it, and I haven't been talking, and you know, I've said a thing or two in front of Happy Mail Monday, you know, my rambles, my pre-mail rambles. And, yeah, it's just, I realized that I wasn't sharing all of this. I was just missing Happy Mail every now and then, here and there. I've mentioned a few things, but it was kind of like, am I being vague? I don't even know. But the brain fog is so bad. The memory issues are so bad. I'm just like, have I even shared this? What have I shared? Anyway, big rambles, a lot going on. And on a particularly bad fatigue day, I was like, maybe I should just stop. Stop doing YouTube, stop doing seagreenzines. Like, I've been on YouTube for a bit over 8 years now. I've been doing seagreenzine stuff. I think my first blog post was 2010. So it'd be about 15, 16 years. 16 years. I'm not sure if it's 2010 or 2011. Ooh, hiccup, excuse me. So yeah, around that timeline. And I was just thinking, I've had a good run. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should just let it all go. But I don't want to. I don't want to. Oh, I didn't even mention the burnout. Like, I know that was like a hot word for a while, like a hot term, and I'm not like doing that disparagingly to anybody who said or has been saying or says now that they are burnt out. I just mean, I know that a lot of people were talking about it for quite a long time. I think it was early 2020s, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe earlier than that. Anyway, so yeah. Clinical level burnout. That's there too. Fun times. So yes. The thing is, I'm not going to. I don't want to. I don't want to give up on seagreenzines because for so long I've wanted something that gives something to other people. Like, I am severely socially anxious. Like, online I can do a lot of talking and stuff online. I can talk to my camera all day long. I still want a podcast. I do. But like, face-to-face, in-person socializing, it's too much, especially right now. But I've always had that drive to figure out a way I could give and help people find inspiration, to help people feel less alone, to help in general in some way, in whatever form I could. Like, that's what my main drive has been since the beginning. And I don't want to stop that now. I don't know how things are going to look like, how things are going to look in the future, in the short term future, the future, in the long term future. As I just said, like, I've got appointments coming out of my eyeballs, and I'm infinitely grateful to be in Australia and be able to afford all the medical care. Well, not all the medical care I need, but the majority of the medical care I need. I'm glad to be able to afford it. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I just know it's not going to end anytime soon because, yeah. Anyway, I won't go into that. I've babbled enough about all my health stuff and whatnot. But what I'm trying to say, what this whole thing is about, is just saying hi. I'm struggling right now. And yeah, I did think about just calling it in, but I don't want to. I want to be here and talk to you, even if it is oversharing about my health or whatnot. Because underneath it all, I will always, always, always have that goal of, if I can help just one person to feel inspired to make a zine, if I can help just one person to connect to another zine maker, if I can help just one person think, you know what, I might mention that I'm having a hard time to someone, you know, that's the underpinning of everything. But if one is going to talk the talk, I believe in walking the walk. I don't. Hypocrisy is one of my greatest bugbears. And yeah, I don't think it's right for me to say certain things if I'm not also doing them, including talking about where I'm at. So that's where I'm at. I'm a mess. I mean, I'm usually a mess, but usually it's a more entertaining mess and less like, ow, I'm in pain and I'm struggling kind of mess. But at least I know, I'm being honest with all of you. I'm being open with all of you. Not because anybody's pushing for information. You all have always been so kind and nice and just accepting and going with the flow. So a lot of my anxieties around seagreenzines in this channel are storms in a teacup that I create myself. I fully know this, and it helps to logic that out a bit. But yeah, anyway, I have been rambling for so long for just this whole thing, and I just want you to know that I don't know how consistent I can be for a while, but I'm going to try to keep showing up, including tomorrow. I'm going to try to do Happy Meal tomorrow. No promises, that sort of thing, but I'm going to try to do Happy Meal tomorrow because I want to, because they're envelopes with stickers on them. Anyway. And I know that there are some people who have been waiting a long time for their mail to be opened, and I am sorry for the delays. Anyway, so yes, there it is. Oh. I was like, am I gonna cry in this? I don't know. Yeah. So, this is Nyx, your resident fluffy zine enthusiast. Yet another YouTube spoonie. Chronic illness navigator. Sorry. And still really accepting that disability is not something I can just put on my to-do list anymore. I have to accept some things, so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to try to be here tomorrow for Happy Meal Monday, but hell or high water, it will happen next week. If it doesn't happen this week, but I'm intending to have for it to go to well tomorrow, but I'm not sleeping well either on top of everything else, so bear with me. And I'm grateful for all of you who've been bearing with me all this time. So yes, I will wrap it up. I won't cry on camera, not that there's anything wrong with crying, because your girl can ugly cry, let me tell you. But yeah, I will wrap it up here and just say thank you as always, and just let you know that I'm trying. I still care deeply about all of this. So with that, until next time, hopefully tomorrow, but until next time, whenever that may be, make some zines, have some fun, talk to somebody if you're having trouble, any kind of trouble, even if you need to rant. Sometimes, like, I'll just be like, I just need to rant about this. You don't need to fix, you don't need to do, you don't even need to respond. I just need to rant about this particular subject. That's okay. It happens. But yeah, take care of yourself. But yeah, give yourself a hug and spread a little sunshine.